everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's a beautiful day here in Wollongong. I hope you're doing something lovely as well. Even though it's such a beautiful day, I chose to be inside making this video on hormone imbalances because it's something very important to me, and I think a lot of women are struggling with hormone imbalance without even realizing it, so this might be really helpful to you. Okay, so I'm going to be focusing on low estrogen levels because that's currently what I'm going through. So I've been focusing a lot of my research and study on low estrogen levels. But of course, with hormone imbalance, there can be high estrogen levels known as estrogen dominance. You could also have high or low testosterone. But like I said, I'm going to be focusing on low estrogen. And this is going to be a 3-part series. The first of which being how I knew I had low estrogen levels, how I diagnosed myself with low estrogen levels, and why estrogen is so important to the female reproductive system. And the second video is going to be how I'm increasing my estrogen levels naturally, so through food and diet. Food and diet are the same thing. The third video is going to be my final result. So I haven't got that final result yet, but in maybe 2 or 3 more weeks, then I'll be able to tell, and I'll be making the last final video on that. I will add a quick little disclaimer telling you that I know I am not a doctor, but I am a studying nutritionist, and I dedicate lots of my time, my personal time, to researching and studying this topic. So I want to help people that also may be going through low estrogen levels and let you know how I go with increasing my estrogen level. Because in saying that, I did shock the doctor and radiologist when I told them that I knew that I had low estrogen levels already, before they knew. Anywho, let's get down to the nitty-gritty details. Okay, so I thought I'd start off with some basic factual information, like what is estrogen? We talk about it, we reference it, we might say, oh, I'm low, I'm high, but do you really know what it is? Not many people do. It is actually a name given to a class of hormones, 3 hormones in particular, those being estriol, estradiol, and estrone. So estradiol is the most potent of the 3, and that's what is also referred to as estrogen. Okay, so estrogen is actually a steroid hormone made from cholesterol that's secreted by the ovaries. This secretion triggers a chain reaction of hormones known as the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. Now, for this to even happen, the hypothalamus in the base of the brain has to release a certain hormone, this being the gonadotropin releasing hormone. This then makes the pituitary gland release 2 hormones, being luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. They then enter the bloodstream. This triggers the ovaries to start making immature follicles. Those follicles are contained in the egg, and then estradiol can begin to be made. Okay, so now to the fun stuff. I'm going to talk about 10 key factors that estrogen impacts in our body. Now I will briefly describe these, and also whilst going through these 10 key factors, I will highlight which of these symptoms that I was going through for me to know that I was estrogen deficient. Okay, number 1. Estrogen is the main driver of the menstrual cycle. Surprise! Estrogen causes our uterine lining to thicken on a monthly basis, and that is the precursor to the shredding. So if we have low levels of estrogen, we have low lining of the walls, and then we can't produce a full period, yada yada yada. You see what I'm getting at? Now this will cause either really light periods or total lack of periods, which is what I've been going through the last year or so. I was getting my periods every 3 or 4 months, and that's a really strong indicator that you have low estrogen levels. That's the main number 1. Okay, second being mood swings. Yay! This is caused by your serotonin levels, which actually affects so much. Your serotonin levels affects the next point, number 3, but focusing on this point still, it focuses on your mood. So if you can't think properly, you're anxious, you might be going through a tough time in your life. This might be causing even more anxiety than usual, and you just think maybe you're crazy. You're not. It's your levels, your serotonin levels. So yes, this brings us to point number 3. Estrogen affects our sleep. Our sleep is affected by our serotonin levels, which affects our melatonin levels, which is the sleep regulator. If you have low estrogen levels, you have low serotonin, low melatonin, you can't sleep. It's a vicious cycle. It's not nice. That's what I've been going through as well. I've been wondering why I don't sleep. Well, hello, it's been in my face all this time, low estrogen. Okay, number 4 is a fun one. Low sex drive, low libido. Also connected to serotonin levels, which is connected to your mood. Do you see how they're all connected? So yes, regrettably, this is one of my symptoms as well, low libido. I've always wondered why I've been so content just not being sexually active, and this very much so explains why. Okay, point number 5, also a fun one. Estrogen controls the lubrication of our vagina, which may explain why sex has been unenjoyable at times, and hurting, and penetration hurts the walls, hurts everything, because your vagina is not lubricating like it should be. Thin walls, low lubrication, not a good time. As you can see, another one of my symptoms. Okay, moving on, number 6. Estrogen affects the moisture in our skin, our hair, our nails, aka the integumentary system. So estrogen helps retain moisture in the skin, which then releases natural acids in the skin. And yes, another one of my symptoms. For years, I have been struggling with dehydrated, dry skin, not only in my face, but my body as well. Of course, more so in winter, but pretty much always I have dry skin, and that's why I moisturize twice a day. But yeah, I've been struggling with skin issues forever, for years. It's annoying. Okay, number 7, estrogen affects the hypothalamus in the brain. The hypothalamus is what regulates our body temperature. And this is also connected to bad sleep, because while I'm sleeping, I get really hot. I always say to people that I have to have the perfect temperature in my room. You know, I have to have the windows open. I have to have the perfect amount of sheets and blankets on my bed. Very frustrating if I'm sleeping with somebody next to me. It's got to have air in and out of the room. Anyways, hypothalamus controls the blood vessels opening and closing. So while you're sleeping, your body's on a roller coaster trying to regulate because of your low estrogen levels, and it's frustrating. Okay, number 8. I find this one quite interesting, but estrogen regulates our cortisol levels. Our cortisol helps our neurotransmitters do their job. So this might affect things like focusing, forgetfulness, memory lapse, things like that. But also cortisol is a very important steroid hormone in the body, which is actually a whole other topic. I won't go down that road, it's a long one, but number 8 is important. Okay, number 9 is a bit of a scary one. This is what really made me concerned about having low estrogen levels, and that is your likeliness to conceive, so your fertility rate. Now, it makes a lot of sense as to how this point is connected to point number 1, because if you're not getting your monthly cycle, your menstrual cycle, then your egg isn't able to come down the tube when it's supposed to. So it's not going to help if you're trying to conceive. Your sperm and the egg are not going to meet very well. Yeah, that's why it's concerning. Not that I'm trying to conceive right now, but if I know that I have low levels now, what about when I'm trying to have a child? It's not good. Okay, number 10, finally. This reason is an annoying one. It is estrogen's impact on weight gain and weight stubbornness. Yes, another one of my symptoms. So yeah, I've been trying to lean down for over a year now, and I've just been finding I'm at the same constant weight. And yeah, I have done some toning here and there, but not to the extent that I would like, that I'm really aiming for. And it's due to my low estrogen levels. So the connection between them is if you're unbalanced, then your body's going to want to store more fat, particularly in your belly, which actually this year I started to notice that I was getting a little teeny tiny pudge, and I don't normally have a little pudge. and I'm not liking it. Something else that ties into this might be constipation and malabsorption of your food, so malabsorption of nutrients. Anywho, so that's why it might be difficult to be losing weight if you have low estrogen levels. Okay, so that was my 10 key factors as to what estrogen impacts on the female body. I will be putting all of those points down in the description box below. If you found it helpful, please let me know. I'd love to know if I'd helped you or not, and if you could make some connections. If you just have any general questions and you think that I might be able to help you, then I would love to be able to do that. So that's everything for this video. My next video will be part 2, and that involves my test results from the doctors and the action that I took immediately to start increasing my estrogen levels. And as always, if you like this and found it helpful and you'd like to see more of this and my information that I have for you, then please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!